Previously on the Hot and Cold podcast. The peanut butter and honey sandwich that I made was the most delicious thing I've ever eaten in my entire life to this day.
Then we'll get you to
You're like
safety.
Superwoman. I mean,
It's
like,
exhausting.
like you're a phone, like somebody is in trouble and they call you and you save the day.
We do have the largest collection of venomous snakes.
Education has changed forever.
Oh man, natural medicine. Hot and Cold podcast is adopting an animal. Axel.
Yes, baby, we're doing it.
3, 2, 1. Sean Welch, the ginger blogger. No, the ginger food blogger.
Yes, potentially.
Potentially.
I'm thinking of making a brand change. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, still working on it.
Yeah.
This was so cool to me how this came about.
Yeah.
I'm sitting at my buddy's barbecue joint. Zavalas, love the guys.
Mm-hmm.
Great guys, great food. And you're up there. Was that for Ginger Food Blogger, or were you just stopping in, or both?
Yeah, I mean, I guess both. I've wanted to get there for the barbecue, but I knew, he did the Friday night thing. As you know, we were talking that night, been extremely stressed out with house hunting, work, everything, and just kind of needed to sit down and enjoy some social interaction and a cold beer. So went up there and doubled, and I had actually seen on Facebook that Joe and I had a ton of mutual friends from the Grand Prairie area, which kind of leads into, I imagine, what you're about to say.
Yeah, so I think you made a comment about something, and then we end up chatting, and next thing you know, I'm saying, you might know my brother.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, yeah, actually, I ran with your brother. The next thing you know, we're making the GP connections left and right.
Yeah.
And but you do the food blogging, and it's funny. That's how I met you, and through that conversation, I mean, you're a military guy, world traveler, superintendent.
Commercial construction. However, I got into that, I don't know.
And it's okay, but naturally, I don't link that to a food blogger, right?
You don't link a lot of things that I do to a food blogger. I think that's what took me so long to take it seriously, I guess.
Yeah. So what do you mean so long to take it seriously?
I mean, I guess to go back, kind of to give a slight backstory, for what you already know that the listeners won't know is grew up in GP. I think I was saying it just, wow, this is the first time I'd been back in GP in so long. You're like, well, what do you mean? Said where I grew up.
That's kind of how
the sparks started flying in a truly platonic way, I assure you.
For you. But, okay.
Yeah, that's true. I get it.
Sorry.
And so, grew up in the area. Well, I joined the Marines in 2008, spent 9 years in the Marines.
Thanks for your service. Was that right after school?
I did a half a semester of a junior college. I followed my friends who played baseball, and school just, my brother, school was not for our family. I never had interest, and I think I kind of always thought I was smarter than the person standing in front of me. I quickly learned that wasn't the case. But, and of course, thank you. Yeah, it was my pleasure. I had a great time doing it. And so, traveled a ton, did a couple deployments, was stationed in Hawaii, young, 20, 21, wasn't really taking life serious at the moment. And spending time in the Marine Corps as well. I mean, pretty much you go to work and you go home and you hit, a 30-pack of Keystone and call it a day. So really kind of missed out on a unique time in my life where I was living in one of the most sought-out destinations of the world.
Sure.
Luckily, towards the end, started maturing a little bit and got out and did that.
And you mean just seeing and
going on hikes and going to beaches and eating the food that's there and just...
As opposed to just
going out and partying, going out and partying or staying in the barracks. I mean, that it was your comfort zone. It's the first time all of us had ever left home.
Yeah.
So
and like
these
you
guys,
said, 2021.
Yeah, these guys to the left of your right, I mean, they're now your family. So, I mean, I've always been outgoing, but I wasn't trying to go to Waikiki by myself. So it was, let's just stay in the barracks and tell stories about the things we miss about Detroit, Texas, California, Rochester, New York, all these crazy places that we all came from. And so after that, I volunteered for what they call a special duty, which is embassy security.
Oh, wow.
I say it's, the top 10% of the Marine Corps. Some say it's the people they don't want in their unit.
I was about to say, you said volunteer for. I mean, is it readily available, or you have to have a little bit of clout?
It's
or?
actually, I think it's now becoming more well known throughout the ranks. But
sought after.
Yeah, in the junior ranks, no one's going around and saying, hey, by the way, at year 3, if you want to leave this terrible duty you're at, there's this really nice special duty you can go do. But over time, you learn the older guys who, hey, this is kind of a good Marine. He's not liking it. I didn't want to re-enlist at the time, and the advice I got was go do something else. You've seen side 1 of the Marine Corps. Go see side 2 of 7. There's different, there's so many different avenues of things you can do in the Marine Corps. And he said embassy security, and it sells itself really easily. And this is what he briefed me in Afghanistan. He said, you're going to get a driver, you're going to get a house, you're going to have a chef, you're going to live in foreign countries. This gentleman was stationed in Brazil. Yeah. He said his bathroom and walk-in closet were bigger than, most one-bedroom houses.
Yeah. So it's our embassy.
Yes, it's our embassy.
Any particular nation.
Right. So to try and stay on topic, but not at the same time, long ago, Ben Franklin and Thomas Jefferson were actually essentially ambassadors for us. They went, were overseas, were some of our first ambassadors, and established a memorandum of agreement with the State Department that only the Marine Corps could serve as Marine security guards in United States embassies around the world. So we're actually called the Ambassadors in Blue because we're usually serving in our dress blue uniforms, a version of it. So, of course, that sold itself. Again, 22, 23, you can go live in the best places in the world.
I'm trying to figure out, I wish I knew this.
Oh, yeah, no recruiter tells you that.
Yeah,
either.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
I mean, that's can I do it now?
And I'll get to that, but, and so, like I said, I mean, it sold itself. It's like, cool. Rome's and all these places. Well, go to school in Virginia. Very tough school.
The school to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
School for everything. So you train.
Training.
It's actually it's ran by the State Department and the Marine Corps. They run in tandem. So you learn, the State Department, kind of the same thing you learn, like chain of command, all the things like who's an ambassador, who those secret squirrel people is what we call them. CIA, so on and so forth.
There's a lot of people coming and going.
Who's who are you saluting? Who are you not saluting? Wow. Who are you not asking questions? Who are you asking questions? I mean,
and then you're just basic security of a person, right? Like protecting.
Essentially, it's security of the embassy. We are the last line of defense of the embassy. Yeah. So you got foreign security, local police, depending on where you're at. All these
bodyguards,
barricades, bodyguards, armored vehicles, and then we are the hard line of the actual embassy, right? So, which it sounds cool. Yeah. You're sitting there thinking, "Wow, that's amazing." Yeah. We stand in a post for 8 to 12 hours and press buttons and hand out badges.
Absolutely, I get it.
But so it kind of doubles. We do have a bar. Usually in our house, we'll have like a game room. Our house is set up for entertaining. So
how many guys?
Each detachement's a little bit different based on kind of the size of the country, size of the embassy. They range from like 5 all the way like mid-20s, 30s. Oh, wow. Some of the real big places. But so you got a wet bar, dry bar. We have to host events. I mean, we're learning how to account $1 million budgets. You know. We're counting alcohol. Our supervisor is coming in a couple times throughout the month saying, wait, last time I was here, this bottle of Jose was at this line. How did it get here? We haven't had a function. And what it does is it serves as actual meet and greets as far as local nationals, local diplomats, and it's a safe place for local diplomats and American diplomats to come together to establish those relationships.
Man, that's super cool.
So
every country potentially has this most?
164 or something. I think
And
there's
how
like
many-
180 countries.
Did you do just one, or did you?
So
were
how
able-
it's set up is as a watch. So there's watchstanders and detachment commanders, and that's a rank thing.
Yeah.
So as a watchstander, you're supposed to do 12 months at 3 different posts. As a detachment commander, you're supposed to do 18 months, which is at 2 different posts, so 3 years.
Yeah. Wow.
Mine was a little tricky. My first post was supposed to be Pakistan. Getting a visa to Pakistan was not easy.
Yeah.
So I sat around in the schoolhouse for a little bit, and then
Wait. So Pakistan, after 3 years in, that's 2011, 2012, right?
let's see. Yeah, I joined the program. Hold on. 2013.
Okay.
End of 2013 is
Like I think we got Osama in 2011.
yes.
And so this is a couple years after. Okay.
Yeah. So
We
visa-
got him, man. I remember that was like a significant
Yep,
night.
it was a big day.
You were
and
in the
I mean, I was in the
Marines.
Marines during that time.
Wow.
So I mean, it's
There's a little bit
people
of
were like
hoorah.
slamming beers and
Yeah.
like, yeah, we got him, and you know, it was the SEALs that got him. You know,
Well, I mean, you said that, but I'm across the world from wherever you were, saying, texting my friends and posting
we got
Facebook.
him like it was an American
that was an
accomplishment.
Yeah.
And so
Where were you?
Right, where were you
I think
today?
I think some folks were. I think I was
I'm
at my
sure
house.
there's plenty of
I
people
mean,
that probably remember it that
yeah,
day.
absolutely.
But yeah, so mine was unique. It took me forever to get a visa, so I ended up in Dubai. As a
Step up. Right?
absolutely.
Yeah, right.
As a young 23-year-old, I'm married now. I love my wife a lot, but Dubai was fun.
Yeah.
I had a great time. You know, things were new. Tinder was new.
Yeah.
I mean, I was young and dumb and kind of was a different version of Hawaii for me.
You kind of had a form of power too, right? I mean,
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got
confidence, power.
diplomatic plates. You're rolling around in armored vehicles. I mean,
Yeah.
you're wearing suits issued by the government. I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
From there, finally, visa comes in, Karachi, Pakistan.
Wow.
Third worst, I guess, pollution in the world,
Yikes.
behind a city in India
I'd say India is the.
and one other place.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad. you know.
Yeah.
they're making bombs out of tennis balls. You know, there's a lot of
Jeez.
political crime going on and just war between the people that want change for the country, the people that don't want it. You know, luckily I was in a very progressive part. It's the textile, a lot of education, a lot of textiles. One of the like world known cricket players was running for president of the country.
Oh, that's fun. Learning that different aspect.
I mean,
Learning how it differs
Oh,
from
yeah.
the United States.
absolutely, and learning
Cultures.
being from Texas, seeing how the Texas view is, how the American view is, and
Yeah. Texas is different from
right.
America, and then we're
Substantially different from
other-
Pakistan. So you get there and you develop a real respect for these people that aren't what you see on the TV. Aren't what we've been in a war for probably 14 years at the time. So that you go over thinking that. And I mean, I played golf, but we had to have armed bodyguards.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, we couldn't go out for after a certain amount of time. We couldn't go to the same places. We couldn't develop patterns. And then, so 6 months there, then Den Haag or The Hague, Netherlands, which is 40 minutes via train from Amsterdam.
And that's it's so funny. You got this Dubai crazy money and suits and just money is everywhere in Dubai.
Then to nothing.
Then to nothing.
Then-
The Netherlands is like this just weird region where like it's all white, all
Yes.
tall, all
tall.
beautiful.
Everybody rides bikes.
Yeah.
Everybody's outdoors all the time. It's
Okay, so let me jump in.
please.
Nothing I do is near that experience, but I went to Costa Rica. I lived
Loved
for 2 months in a home with a family, separately a second time on my own. Learning that culture. It wasn't 18 months,
Right.
but I certainly learned learning the language
Yeah.
changes the way you think. hiking in the mountains of Costa Rica.
R and all.
Yeah, trying to continue to paint this picture, and then when I'm back here in the States, I hunt. Just this weekend, I'm in a blind within 20 yards of wild game, drawing back my bow, aiming, and you know, hunting with a rifle from 100 yards out, you can sneeze. You're really 100 yards away from them.
It's not very sporting to me.
But the bow changes the game. Long hikes, particularly the hike in Costa Rica. You do these things as they're adventurous outdoors. It changes who you are, and then sometimes I'm sitting like in a board meeting.
Yeah.
I'm on council here in Grand Prairie, or I do nonprofits, or at my church. You know, sitting and you know, there's just this dude, right? That just he's a business guy. Me,
right?
You know, just sitting there talking about numbers or whatever. And to know that the night before he was in a tree blind, chasing wild game, or it was hiking the highest mountain in Costa Rica, right? And so, I thought about that one as we were speaking. Like, no disrespect, you were just a dude. Looked like you worked construction, trying out Zavalas that I might have. Known your brother, right? Like there's just this like random thing. It's so cool to then find out about this person standing in front of you has experienced so much more than you could even guess.
Yeah.
Part of that's a message I'm sending out, like never judge a book by its cover. Not that your cover was bad or good.
Thanks.
I'm not. Yes, I'm saying I'm not saying it was bad or good, but you can look at somebody and not have any idea what the things they've experienced and done in their life. And then once you're able to get in a conversation with somebody and get to know somebody, I mean, you can develop a completely new respect from your prejudgment. So, that's why I bring that up to encourage anybody and everybody to go out and take that stance. And military, for example, is a prime example of that. Young kids these days, college is a good idea, but it ain't always the answer. And the trades you learn. In the military, Marines is a little bit more just kill, but
a little bit.
Army will teach you a trade. Air Force teach you a trade.
Sure.
Yeah. So, I like to, as I bring things together, I like to try to put a message on it. Part of what my podcast is to create conversations,
right,
and then create a message to it. So that's why I butt in like that.
No, it makes sense. I mean, it's kind of like the tip of the iceberg is kind of, I think, what that encompasses. Example. And then, I mean, I guess to wrap it all up, because the original question was why, why did it take me so long? So I ended up, I did one more, I ran my own detachment in West Africa, and then moved back to California. Well, over that 3 year.
Let me, I'm interrupting because we have the time, and that's what we're here for. Ran my own detachment. What are you?
So I was the detachment commander of the Marine Security Guards in Banjul, Gambia, in Western Africa. Okay. So I was the one who went to the meetings with the ambassador. Yeah. I represented the Marine Corps. So if,
and that's
Corporal so-and-so messed up that weekend, the ambassador was looking at me saying, what's going on? Why are Marines getting in trouble out in town? And I'm saying, sorry, that's me.
And that was after sounds like at least 3 locations serving.
That would have been number 4. Yes.
Wow.
And was finally in charge. So the rules changed completely. You get your own house, you get your own vehicle.
Jeez.
That's where I got my first dog. I mean, everything.
Is your house within the embassy grounds, or are you?
No, we have a house, we have guards, and compound walls, and we have security guards.
Interesting.
That's it.
Yeah,
and I'll show you some great pictures later.
Cool.
I mean, I showed kids their face for the first time on my phone.
If you get them to me, I can flash them up. On the video.
I keep them.
Cool.
Modu is my little friend. He wouldn't walk with me unless I held his hand.
Well done.
So he didn't speak a lick of English either, so it was kind of
crazy.
Awesome,
man. Did you pick up any other?
No.
Maybe some basic.
I should have. No, I think I'm learning the most now. Being in construction, I'm learning a decent amount of Spanish.
Absolutely.
Out of respect, to speak a language of I think it kind of sets me apart from other superintendents. But so I guess the idea for me is over that 3 years, I traveled to 17, 20 countries on vacation, not just for work.
Oh yeah. So
I mean,
not even
leisure travel. I went to Italy twice, Egypt, France, Spain. I mean, I went to a lot of places, and I was eating. Growing up in Grand Prairie, growing up with parents that never finished high school themselves. I don't even think my mom ever even cooked a raw vegetable for us as kids, just because she didn't like vegetables. So I always associated good eating with wealth.
Yeah.
And so now I'm traveling and I'm getting to go out and have these types of meals, and I'm tasting these things that I've never tasted for the first time. And I mean, I got Snapchat, so I'm taking a picture, and it's poor quality. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like, oh, look at this. And we share it with all my friends and make everybody jealous.
Yeah.
Now the girls in high school that didn't pay me any time were like, oh, hey, what's Sean up to? Oh, my God, he's in Rome this week?
Yeah.
It worked in my favor. I was a single guy traveling the world. But I
love that.
I wanted to. I thought, how can I do something with this? That's, blogger, I'm a foodie. Come on.
Yeah.
There was this preconceived notion in my head. I'm a Marine. It's feminine to do something like that.
Yeah,
Why would
you're
I?
the tough guy.
No one's ever gonna no one will take me seriously if I'm taking pictures. And oh, look at this guy. His flash just went off at a restaurant while he's taking a picture of his food. But I was that same guy. I just did it inconspicuously, so no one could point the finger at me. And so now, with everything going on, I'm sitting on my couch. My wife works long hours because she's a nurse, and come home and social media is just there. You can only watch so much Netflix. And I love food. Like I said, I've traveled all over the world. I've eaten some really good food, and I almost regret that I don't have an image of some of the stuff I've eaten. Just the quality. I had a Japanese restaurant in Dubai one time that was out of this world amazing. It was like $300, but it was amazing. And so I needed an outlet because the social media world was dragging me down mentally. It was just so much negative. And I said, okay, well, what positive can I bring back into it other than inspirational quotes that I copy from someone else?
Yeah.
Or, hey, wake up, look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I got this. We can all do that.
That's great.
Right?
But that's great, by the way.
It is. If you're struggling, please do that.
Yeah.
Trust me, it helps. And drink water when you wake up.
Yeah.
But
I'm getting better at that, and I've noticed
lemon
a
water
difference.
apparently is actually the key.
My mother got into doTERRA
I
a
don't
while
know
back.
what that is, but okay.
It's oils, essential oils, and the one thing that I picked up from that was the lemon oil.
Yeah.
And every time I pour my glass, doop 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 doop.
Yeah, I remember being a kid, bring me a water and there's a lemon in it, and I was like, I don't want this. And that's actually a great segue. I was the pickiest eater growing up.
Really?
And
That
if
makes
people
sense.
ever brought me my food, and if it was wrong, I'd just sit there. And my dad's very vocal, and my mom's like the mom's mom, like sports moms, like yelling at coaches, and they'd look like, what's wrong? I didn't want onions on it. Okay, we'll say something. No, I don't want to inconvenience them.
Nice.
Okay, well, we're paying for it, so you need to say something. No, I'll just pick them off, and I eat it. And then now, and I served. I was at my short stint in college. I worked at Olive Garden.
Okay.
Oh, so good. I've been to Italy 3 times, and
Really?
I still eat Olive Garden. That's kind of not very foodie of me, but it's,
the Olive Garden or Italian food we eat, is it significantly different?
significantly.
Yeah.
Significantly. First of
Have
all,
you
Alfredo is not a thing.
Yeah.
That is not. It's just called white sauce.
Yeah. Have you found within DFW
Phenomenal Italian restaurants.
Yeah.
There are a ton. There's actually one in downtown Dallas called 400 Gradi. Gradi meaning degrees in Italian.
Yeah.
That is the only one of its kind in the United States, meaning the only 400 Gradi in the U.S. The owner or the founder is from Naples, moved to Melbourne, Australia. Melbourne, Australia has a massive Italian population. His friend there wanted to expand. He said, let's take it to the U.S. Okay, where do you want to go? He said, Dallas. Like, why not Chicago? Why not New York?
Yeah.
Why not California?
We're underserved.
Dallas. We're underserved where we have a phenomenal food scene if you haven't been out there. And it's growing significantly every day. And so they came here. So what makes them special is they have special filters on their water that mimic the pH balances and a few other things about the water in Naples.
No way.
They're actually a Lavera Pizza Napolitana certified. They're certified by them, which is an organization in Italy that goes around and says to technically serve a proper Neapolitana margarita pizza, you have to cook it a certain way at a certain temperature for a certain amount of time using certain ingredients.
Wow.
So they're actually certified by the VPN.
That's very, yeah.
It's called the VPN in Italy.
400 de grada.
400 gradi.
Gradi.
There's 9 places in Texas that are certified by that certification authority in Italy.
Okay, so let me almost reset. So you get done with military.
Mm-hmm.
Is that when you start doing the construction job?
I got out. I worked. My dad knew a Marine who was starting to own company doing recycling shingles, and I started with him, and it was actually
Composite shingles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And was going to repurpose them, break them down, sell asphalt, things like that. But hours were insane, and that's kind of why I got out of the military.
Yeah.
My best friend's dad had done commercial flooring for 40 years, so he got me a job as kind of a field superintendent, project manager type gig, taught me everything there was to know about flooring. Did that for a year and a half, sat down for a review, and they said, hey, we're going to give you a promotion bigger than we usually do, bonus, bigger, raise, but we're going to cap you at that, you know. I said, well, I'm not here to be capped. Like, then what motivation do I have to work harder if I'm at my limit? So I was a subcontractor for one of the general contractors that I am working for now.
Yeah.
Went to them, said, hey, didn't really like how this went. Are y'all hiring? Oh, yeah. We don't really hire per se, but if we have a recommendation, we'll recommend you. That week I had a sit-down meeting with the owner of the company.
Very cool.
And 2 weeks later, I was working for them, and now I've been doing commercial construction for a year and a half, almost 2 years.
Yeah. So through that process and working, you know, whether you like your job or not, you've got this routine that you're trying to find your side hustle, your release, whatever.
Yeah, probably a release. You know, I play golf. You know, I'm getting older. Friends are starting to have kids. We don't have kids. We have our dogs. Wife works. So, you know, the time you get with your friends is now far and few between. Mm-hmm. And so I needed something at home to keep me occupied other than spending money. Oh, let me go play another round of golf. Well, it's my 8th round of golf this week, something like that.
Jeez.
So unfortunately, it's never been 8 rounds in a week. I think I got 4 in 1 week once.
That's pretty impressive.
And so, yeah, I guess a release and a hobby, mental stimulation.
So how many so I guess just to answer the question, how often are you blogging, and is that for a particular restaurant, or when you make a blog? I mean, so there's a food review, and then a blog is just, hey, this week I had 4.
So it doesn't make my wife happy, but it's gotten to the point where it's essentially every day.
Yeah,
it gets expensive.
I noticed that.
It gets expensive real quick.
And that's part of why I asked. I mean, golly, if you're eating at 400 gradi and
not so many of those places.
Sure.
I try to find the small local. You know, so I started all this in a pandemic.
Yeah. Okay, I was going to get to that.
When I couldn't go anywhere, and I actually got coronavirus during the pandemic.
No way.
I lost my taste and smell for 2 weeks.
That's your primary. That's what you're wanting to do
a week
now.
after starting this idea, I'm like, I can't taste anything.
Yeah, there goes that idea.
I was depressed almost.
Yeah.
It comes back, and so I'm able to get back out again. You know, following all the necessary guidelines. You know, do your part. Seriously.
Well, it's not a bad time to start doing that because the restaurants are encouraging that to go.
And that was kind of what happened. Is to go was making it really easy, but then you watch all the Facebook warriors that are like support local and, you know, quit buying all these big brands and doing this. And I'm like, okay, well then stop going to McDonald's. Like,
yeah.
Zavala's Barbecue in Grand Prairie is doing amazing things. Like go eat there. It's affordable. It's fresh food.
Yeah.
May not be the healthiest food, but you're eating real ingredients.
Yeah, and they evolved.
Yeah.
You know, they changed with what came their
Everyone
way.
has.
Yeah.
I mean, it's and so that was kind of more motivation too. It's like, let me help these people. I'm a nobody at the time when I started. I'm almost to 900 followers now.
Oh yeah.
Whoop, whoop.
I got a drop from Joe, and they've got thousands, and it's like, yeah, we only had like 1,000 Instagram followers, so that I use that as the intro, one of their intros.
That's perfect.
Jerk.
And so, I mean, in the beginning, I was just a guy. Like, I try not to tell anybody I'm coming. Every now and then I'll reach out and say, hey, what do you got? But I never say, hey, this is me. I'm going to be there. Look for me. I don't want that. I don't want special treatment. I just want to go eat your food and give honest feedback. My wife, she says, well, end goal is I would love to do this as a career, not blog or be an influencer. I'd like to sit down on guys' grocery games and be a critic to the food that they're serving, because it's an art. Yeah. Just as much as I love music, I love food, and I have a passion for learning what it takes for these chefs to put out these things that they're doing.
Yeah. Okay. Let me jump on that. Like your comparison there, what was the comparison? So I guess what I'm getting at is you know how to taste the food. How much of the going into cooking, how much of cooking, do you know much about cooking, or?
I think I know enough to get myself in trouble. I try to.
Yeah.
It's really.
But you want to stick to what can you cook that's good, because the reason I bring that up is like, you've got quality ingredients, you got, but I mean that's what makes different chefs different. It's almost like an art, right? Like, if you can appreciate, if the food's above average, but it's unique, that's a plus, right?
Yeah, and I mean, it's definitely inspirational too, because then it gets me at home thinking, well, I mean, listen to that guy's story. I can make this.
I can do that.
I mean, Joe the other night posted on his brisket in Maine pictures of steak, and then everybody, I was like, I'm gonna go home and make some steaks tonight.
Nice.
And I made them a way I hadn't made them yet.
Yeah.
I've made them.
Seared?
They just never succeeded. So I just did them strictly cast iron.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Which makes it tough because my wife's medium, I'm medium rare. I've reverse seared them on my smoker, perfect every time. I've hot seared and then put them in the oven to let them get there, but I never trust it. And then just a full cast iron sear, flip, 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 flip. Oh my God, is it done? Yeah. Oh, it's not done. I don't trust it. Now it's done. And usually it's over. This time I brought them. I did it. Bought some boneless ribeyes from HEB plug.
Nice. Oh, dude. You said you're in Waxahachie?
For now, we just bought a house in Carrollton.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're moving up to Carrollton.
Yeah.
Does Waxahachie have an HEB?
Yes, it does.
But Carrollton definitely does not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Might have a Central Market, which is a brand.
Yeah. HEB is, as a council, people always ask for nicer supermarkets, and of course we got guys that we ask HEB.
I'm sure.
And they're just like, no, we're good.
Yeah, they probably got some crazy standards that get
it's
them
a
there.
weird setup. We even had them under contract on a property, but they wanted certain things around it or some weird stuff, and it just never worked out.
But so I mean, I got home, and like I said, my wife's a nurse, so she works a lot. So it's not this. I get home, hey, what's for dinner? It's if she's working, I'm cooking. If I'm working, she's cooking. Vice versa.
So does that mean she's not necessarily food blogging with you?
For the most part, she's not.
Yeah.
On weekends we really don't have much time. Because her schedule, sometimes she's working Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
You got your
I
own
usually
eating schedules.
Yeah, I usually am able to capitalize during the week at work. If my schedule is open enough, I'll Google image or Google search a new spot or something I've just had this crazy craving for, or something I've eaten before, but before I decided to take pictures of it.
Yeah.
So
what about your? I was impressed by your knowledge on your learning knowledge on Instagram and using it the right way. It sounds like that was kind of a new thing to you.
Yeah.
Because I found it quite impressive, and I mean, I absolutely suck at it, and I kind of saw some of the things you're doing. I was like, oh man, and I'm already lost. So that's one form of media, and it can be effective. So a little bit about learning that, and then your other forms of getting your information.
So my my brother Eric, he actually has a thing he's working on, and he met a guy who actually runs a marketing company.
Okay.
So he spoke to me, and I told him what I was interested in doing. He was like, "That's a phenomenal idea.
Yeah.
Like, everybody loves food. You're not going to fail. Let's do it." Made me a logo within minutes. Sent it over to me. He said, "Usually that's a couple $100. This one's on me. Your brother's a good guy. Like, let's get this going."
Nice.
And kind of gave me some of the basics of how the Instagram algorithm works. And then, kind of gave me some homework. Essentially, he said, spend 30 minutes a day following like-minded people.
Okay.
For me, follow other foodies. Follow restaurants that I want to go eat at. Restaurants that I like. And engage with those restaurants. If they post a photo, say, don't put a drooling emoji. Instagram doesn't care that you put a drooling emoji. Instagram cares that I put 4 or 5 meaningful words and emojis.
Okay.
That's a real interaction.
As simple as that makes me drool.
That makes me drool. Drool emoji.
Yeah.
Save the post if it's interested. If someone saves my post, it helps me.
Okay.
Because it shows Instagram more engagement from the user.
It's
like, hey,
credible information.
this person liked this gentleman's post so much that they
Yeah.
saved it. Like, maybe we can. And I'm sure at the end of the day, it's just because they can get revenue off of throwing ads in somewhere. So engage. He's like, just spend 30 minutes a day. Follow as many people as you can and engage with them as much as you can to get them to notice you and follow you back.
Yeah.
Start setting a time, and for me, I get so excited. I take these great photos. I'm like, oh, this is so good. I want to share it with the world, and I just post it.
Yeah.
But he said, set a time, try to be consistent. Don't post Monday and then post next Friday. He said you've wasted,
Yeah. 4 or 5.
9 days or
Yeah.
13 days.
I get you. Yeah.
I don't know, math.
Yeah.
That's why I joined
no,
the
I was
Marines.
thinking. Yeah. Nice.
So, you wasted all. So you were relevant for 24 hours, and then you spent X amount of days not being relevant anymore.
Yeah.
So you have to. I mean, to the point that sometimes it becomes an issue with me and my wife because it's, hey, get off your phone.
Yeah.
Hey, get off your phone. I'm like, well, you're on your phone too, looking at stupid stuff.
Yeah.
At least mine's for a purpose. Like this has now become a passion, a hobby, and hopefully a career.
So how do you? Well, immediately, and I say immediately, soon. How do you monetize? Twitter offers ads. Restaurants say.
Yeah, so I think it starts there.
Come review.
I think in the beginning it'll be, restaurants will say, we want you to come try our food and write about it. Wow, you have 2,000 followers and they're really engaged with you.
Yeah.
Please come eat our food. And maybe they just comp the meal, which cool, great.
Yeah, that's a free meal. $50.
Probably one that's decent too.
Yeah, and I can imagine, especially food, if I have a restaurant and you are going to tell 2,000, you're going to give a detailed writing and picture about my food. I bet you, out of that 2,000 people, you can say 5 may end up coming in the next month,
right?
Because they're going to say, "Ooh, I'm going to go try that out."
They're not going to go to the X morning newspaper. That people aren't opening newspapers. So if there's a write up in a newspaper, people aren't going to those websites.
Nope.
They're attached to their phone. And they have social media open at all times.
Yeah.
I can reach out and touch anybody I want in the world at any time I want through Instagram.
Yeah.
It's free marketing.
Yeah. It sucks that, and we touched on this, so, food marketing is the escape from what we're seeing on the news.
Yeah.
It's just like it's so jacked up and so divisive.
Mm-hmm.
We said that before we came on here. No politics, right? Nope, that's not what we're doing here. Except I told you, can we tell you how much it sucks?
Yeah,
And
we
that's-
can
and-
always talk about that.
And that's my point. So I like that we can come on here and talk about food. I'm a food snob too.
Yeah.
It's funny that I say I'm a food snob, and I sometimes ask for ketchup with my steak. People are like, "What the?" I like ketchup. I grew up with ketchup.
I went red for a second.
I get it. People, I mean, I completely.
Hopefully, at like
I can't explain it away.
Texas Roadhouse, right? Not like Bob's Steak and Chop House.
Right. I don't think I'm going to do that.
Okay.
But,
It might escort you out.
and usually it's for my mashed potatoes, so it's not for the steak.
That's an also interesting take, though. Ketchup on mashed potatoes is interesting.
Well, and it's not like I dump it on there. I'll just kind of touch it a little bit. We use ketchup on
we
fries.
use ketchup. Yeah, exactly. I was thinking, I said, isn't it funny how the different consistencies and the textures of a food warrants a different condiment associated with it?
Yeah.
You take mashed potatoes like butter and sour cream. Okay. Now you take French fries. You can go mustard, mayonnaise, ketchup, hot sauce, honey
hilarious.
mustard, ranch, but don't do butter and sour cream.
No.
But-
That would ruin it.
But if you took that fry and just crunched it up, there it is.
There it is. Especially fresh, the ends that are still hot and creamy, right? Yeah, man. And steak sauce, like I like steak sauce. It's delicious. I don't know why there's a problem with using steak sauce with my meat. I can enjoy a meat without steak sauce, but I also enjoy the taste of A1. I like Worcestershire as well.
Well,
You see what I'm saying?
It goes to, you're good friends with Joe Zavala, and it's like the big no-no in Texas barbecue is you shouldn't need barbecue sauce for your brisket. You made it, and I like it.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I appreciated the brisket. It's my rule.
Hey, buddy, I'm paying $25 a pound for your meat. I mean,
exactly.
Shouldn't that be enough?
But I always make it a rule when I do a barbecue review, I'll sample everything without the sauce
Without
first.
sauce.
I mean, because I want to know that you made a good piece of beef.
Yeah.
That I don't need the additive, because if it's a crutch, if the sauce is
That
the only
makes
thing that
sense.
makes it good, then you're just really not putting out quality barbecue.
Yeah.
So then after the fact, you're damn right I'm going to throw some barbecue sauce on it.
And you're right. Bob's Steak and Chop House, if I order a steak and I'm thinking about getting steak sauce with it, there's a problem.
But you can get peppercorn gravy on it.
Hey, that's a good point, right? That's a common, what is it? What do you call Salisbury kind of like deal?
Chimichurri.
Yeah. We went to Nick's and they got a
Nick and Sam's.
Nick and Sam's, and they've got like a $300 a pound or $300 a pound Japanese
Wagyu.
steak. Is it Wagyu?
Yeah, I had one in Dubai once. It was $170.
Jeez.
But God, was it good.
And we had it was a city deal, and the meal was going to be taken care of. I was like, nah. I mean, I don't have it in me to
Right.
order that. I need to do it. I need
Like
to
good
do it.
angel, bad angel. It's
Yeah.
like, get that steak. Don't get that steak.
And I'm a food snob, and it doesn't mean that I just want high quality foods. I just
No.
like what I like. I know what I like.
I love Ton's Mongolian Grill.
Sure, it's a great point, right? That's delicious food. It's not freaking the culinary king of the South,
My
right?
wife's mom, my mother-in-law, brings her own chicken because she thinks the place is so dirty.
Really?
I love Ton's Mongolian Grill. I'm going to make a post one day about Arlington and Grand Prairie Ton's Mongolian Grill, and people are going to think, why? Because it's what I like.
So before you spent time in Grand Prairie, were you a Don Juan's guy at all? Did you
Yeah.
ever have Don Juan's? I mean, I still eat there 3 times a week.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I say 3 times a week. It's a regular. I'm thinking this is Thursday. I've eaten Monday and Wednesday. So I'll eat there to Friday or Saturday. So yeah, so 3 times a week. Ain't nothing special about Don Juan's. There's really not.
Yeah.
But
It's comfort.
It's comfort. I can rely on it. I know what I'm getting.
Quality and consistency are some of the biggest things I always try to talk about.
Good. And that's a form of my snobbiness, right? Like if you switch that up, I mean, there's nothing special at Don Juan's, but if you switch that up and try to do something different, I'm out, bro. I want sauce with my burrito, and if you don't do that, I don't know what we're doing here. So,
Right.
Street tacos.
Love them.
So
Big fan.
there's got to be a good variation of street tacos, and street tacos are new to me. I don't think Joe does street tacos.
No.
He's got carne guisada, he's got the brisket, he's got the different types of beef. But street tacos is
I think
like,
he's riding a wave.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah.
But this summer has been really crazy for just tacos and like a lot of quesadilla, which is the similar just dip. Just
Right.
these dip tacos, which
Yeah.
are crispy. But then you got, like you said, the street tacos, which is small number 10 corn tortilla,
That's what I'm thinking.
meat thrown on top.
Yeah. You got the
cilantro, onions. That's it.
grilled onion. Yeah.
Yeah. Lime, maybe some salt on the side, and a Mexican Coke. That is a Mexican street taco.
Have you had guana taco?
I have not.
I'll remind you.
Please do.
Grand Prairie. It was a very small group of people, but they did a best street taco in Grand Prairie.
Wow.
And guana taco won. They started off 360 in a gas station, and they opened up across from GPISD Education Center.
Okay.
So you got the staff that comes over.
Probably killing it.
During quarantine, before they required a mask, Dad and I would go a couple times. But during quarantine, we ate there, 3 times a week because we could just pop in. They had it to go. They still weren't shut down completely.
Yeah.
And that's what that is. And they got 15 meats. I mean, I'm not joking. And it's that number 10 corn tortilla. And before guana taco, I don't think I had a big hankering for
And now you're
street tacos. Yeah, now I want to try the next place that has them. And so I look forward to you doing something like that. What am I doing?
And that's hopefully the goal of the website when it does come out.
5.
But yes.
Can you tell me now? One would be tough, so I'm gonna say 2 places I need to go eat right now.
Since we're on the topic of tacos, LCI Taqueria in Oak Cliff, it's cash only, and it is a window off the corner of Davis and Cedar Hill, I believe.
Yeah.
It's called LC, like yes.
Okay.
I, which is HAY, LCI. Cash only, open, and then
there. Okay, that's the yes there. The there, yeah. Of course, that's just
right.
That's the exact translation. Yeah. Davis and Cedar.
I believe so. Yeah, in Oak Cliff, like Bishop Arts area.
Yeah.
2. No offense to Joe, but Brick's Barbecue in Fort Worth.
Yeah. Well, Joe's all about
and
sharing the wealth.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Brick's is my local favorite. Currently?
Did you eat Heim?
Yes, I had Heim today, actually.
Did you really?
Yeah, they just opened their new Dallas location, and I had the bacon.
Did you go there then?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
For their soft opening.
Yeah, I should have done that. I thought about it. I lived no more than 4 blocks from Heim.
Yeah.
The one
Lucky.
on Magnolia.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that was my diet because I got it to go as well. So I'd eat it, again, 3 times a week.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're one of the few locations that does quality, good, authentic Texas brisket or Texas barbecue all day, every day.
Heimburger.
The Heimburger, which is the brisket burger.
Legit,
yeah.
And they had the bacon burnt-in jam.
The Big Cat sandwich.
Yeah. And then that location had a whiskey bar.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was a bar long as this table maybe, but every whiskey you could think of. That was a Fort Worth location on Magnolia. And I'd go in there and watch Cowboy games.
Oof, let's not talk about those guys.
No. Yeah.
I'm going to give you one last location.
Yeah.
Prince Lebanese Grill in Arlington.
I eat there once a week.
Perfect.
Dude.
Aziz is a good friend.
Aziz, isn't
Yes.
it? Okay. What's
They
interesting?
were on Triple D. Guys,
Really?
dives, diners, drive-ins.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. So he's got the photos up.
Uh-huh.
So a good friend of mine, Grand Prairie guy, Angelo Chokas is his name. Their family is Theo's.
Okay.
So Theo's is his grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
His dad and his 2 uncles were the 3 restaurants. 2 of them are still around.
Yeah.
Angelo and I had office aid together. We went to middle school together.
Office aid, what a class.
Yeah, I know, right? And so they're Greek, and so that's not Greek food.
Right.
It kind of is, but so that's when we get together. We go to Prince, and I'm telling you, first time he took me, I was like, whoa, this is like a step above any type of Greek food I've tried before.
Yeah.
And so that's our treat. And instead of, I'm glad you said that. That makes me.
I'm actually thinking about going there for dinner after this because Aziz and I are gonna do like a collaboration giveaway to a bunch of my followers. So he's gonna match a gift card that I buy, and then we're gonna just kind of get it out to the people.
If Realtor Cole Humphreys or Hot and Cold Podcast can do anything that helps,
Yeah, of
with
course.
donation to promote your deal, feel free to reach out.
Awesome.
Marketing is important.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and I can't do Instagram as well. I'm getting better at it, but
We'll get you there.
if it
We'll
takes
get
a
you
couple
there.
dollars. So I don't want to. This is fun. So you got to replace Prince. Give me a third.
Skyrocket Burger in Deep Ellum.
Okay, Deep Ellum, huh?
Yeah, Skyrocket Burger. There's 2 locations, but the Deep Ellum one I would imagine is closer for
And
you.
since you said Deep Ellum, I'm going to ask one more. In Greenville, Lower Greenville.
Mm-hmm.
I got to, and that's because here's the one I'm most likely to go to. I got a good friend that lives over there, and I'll probably go visit him.
Okay.
You familiar with the Lower Greenville?
Oh yeah,
What you got?
Greenville Pizza Company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trust me, can't go wrong there.
Or get pizza.
Yes. Or if you like ramen, Wabi House.
Wabi.
Wabi House. WABI. Oh, got to make sure you get the fried pork ears.
That's a unique thing to have that database.
Yeah, I think it's a problem.
Right. I mean, it's like I just said 4 different
I could
locations
keep going.
continuously
I could
spread
keep
out.
going. Yeah,
over-
trust me.
And I don't think it's just 1 or 2. You might have a top 5 for each location. Each
I'm getting there.
area.
Yeah. I have to start coming up with those lists because once I have the website, I'm going to need some
Yeah.
content that's not just, hey, I went to
Hey,
this
this
place
was good.
today and this was really good. I want to give, tour of DFW barbecue, tour of pizza. I mean, just
So when I was over there by Heim, I was there for
Mm-hmm.
about almost 2 years. I moved, but right around the corner on Main, because that's Magnolia.
Mm-hmm.
A Grand Prairie guy built and is co-owner of Wishbone and Flint.
oh my God, I can't believe you just said that.
Yeah, have you heard that one?
So Brick's Barbecue, Trevor Sales and his
Okay.
wife, they live like right across the street. So Brick's is here, Wishbone and Flint is right here. It's literally across. And then
I didn't know that. Okay, so
Yeah,
you
and
just said
it's-
Fort Worth.
Yeah.
So it's on Main there.
yeah,
right
it's
by it.
catty corner from
Oh, I'll definitely try it out then.
God, what is that brewery? That's right there.
There's a couple of them. The one that's been around a while is I've been to all of them.
yeah.
There's like 4 or
God,
5.
what is that one?
No, there's seriously like 4 of them right in that little
Mhm.
area, and I
But
can't even.
if
but
Wishbone and-
RAR is
RAR
the
is
one that
great.
everybody knows,
Yeah.
or it's been a little bit more popular.
Hot Fusion.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh,
Hot
yeah.
Fusion, Wishbone, and then there's an Airstream right here that is Brick's Barbecue.
Okay,
So they go there like once a week.
who's they?
Trevor and Caitlin,
Okay.
the owners of Bricks,
Yeah.
and they're always posting on Instagram. I've become
Wishbone.
decent, pretty good friends with them. I talk to them a lot. Their
Okay.
food is so good.
These are the brisket barbecue guys.
Mm-hmm.
Wishbone and Flint also has an upstairs. Have you been, or you just been
No,
talking
I
about?
want to go
Okay.
so bad. The beef, the bone marrow. I want
If
so
it's
bad.
the one I ordered was like a $75 steak.
Perfect.
And,
I want it.
I mean,
Yeah.
mean, I probably could have used a fork.
Mhm.
I mean, seriously, it was that good. Anyway, they got an upstairs speakeasy, if you want, if
Yeah.
you will. You can go up there, bar. They have music up there.
That's awesome.
During quarantine, or right when they first reopened, it was my first date in a long time. I took
Good
her
for
there.
you.
It was impressed. It was like a good, because all that place is new and upcoming.
Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful area.
Yeah.
Kind of on the edge of a really rough area, but when I
Yeah,
go
yeah.
over there, soon as you come off Main to go get back on the highway, you're like, where?
Well, and we're talking here, so across 35 is Southside, and Southside
Yes.
is
Rough.
The friends I met while I was by Heim were renting. They bought a house on the South Side, and they didn't buy a house; they got a house built.
Wow.
And there ended up being about 10.
Kind of the beginning of the gentrification process.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is almost off subject, but those lots and homes, the title is so widespread that no individual, even
Yeah.
corporate entity, can get clear title where it's worth to knock down and build a home.
Right.
I mean, they paid. Double worth any house over there is worth.
Oh, yeah.
New,
And still probably didn't spend a lot of money.
right. And so these if somebody could just get this title work lined up over there, that entire area would
Blow up.
Blow
Yeah.
up. It's absolute correct.
Super cool area.
So that the one highway that doesn't have the one bridge that doesn't have I-30 access, there's a bar there called Republic Bar, and that's where in that parking lot's where Heim started.
Yeah.
The little setup, little trailer type
Little,
thing set up. Yeah,
food trailer thing.
people would
he was
go
going.
and hang out at.
It's like back in 2015, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy because I didn't realize that when I moved over there temporarily was right when Heim opened. To me, Heim was always there.
Right.
I didn't realize it was so new.
Yeah. Beginning of a trend.
Yeah. And so even the workers saw me as like, he's part of our.
He's Heim.
That they knew.
Yeah. You were regular.
Yeah, I don't go as much. So
Yeah.
Hey man, this is awesome. This is
It was
great.
great. Yeah.
I appreciate you doing this. We're about 45 minutes. I didn't want to push. There's no reason to push. What I will say is consider coming back and doing this again.
Of course.
Anytime. And this was just off the cuff. I'm starting to get better at maybe like making it more planned out so we stay on task. Different people can. I've had doctors of mental health on here. I have restaurant people.
Yeah.
All forms of.
That's cool, though.
And the idea is get this conversation, having fun, and I've got 7 followers. Honestly, I have fun doing it, and I've learned places I can go and take dates.
Yes, there you go.
And then I want you to do well, man.
I appreciate that.
This is one as a former service member, former Grand Prairie guy, and what seems to be like a hard worker as well. Anything we can, yeah, right. Wait, it's like I'm trying to eat for a living. You're calling me a hard worker.
I'm like, should I be back at work? I don't think I'm supposed to be here.
Tell me the Instagram handle right now.
So currently it is at the Ginger Food Blogger. Kind of a mouthful, but you'll see, this ginger hair logo, and that's me.
Yeah, and so maybe a little switch up soon.
I think for marketing purposes, my marketing guy is thinking I should maybe make a switch just to have shorter and then a bigger umbrella to not limit myself or handcuff myself to just food blogger, because I do want to start a podcast.
Yeah.
Get the website, and then, if someone was like, hey, we want to make some ginger food knives, I'm not going to call them the Ginger Food Blogger knives.
You're right, the ginger food knives. That's a good idea.
Yeah, so
That's
we're kind of
fun,
going
man.
with, I think we might go with Real Ginger Foodie,
Yeah,
because unfortunately it's already a ginger foodie.
you have to do real.
You got to add something.
But you're the real.
I am the real. I'm going to make it the realest.
Yeah.
So,
All right, man. We'll see you next time.
thanks, man.
See you, bud.
That's it.
Cool, man.